This Pittsburgh Steelers betting preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Circus Sports. Circus Sports is giving away $14 million this NFL season. Sign up in Vegas and play from anywhere. Get all the info over at circusports.com. We're also brought to you by our Patreon. Score exclusive perks, content, and contests, including our NFL win totals contest with a $1,000 prize. Join today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon.
Hi, this is Merrill Hodge, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
I'm just gonna intensely look at the camera like Mike Tomlin. I mean, is this not? I don't want to ruin the show. Is this not the easiest show to prepare for every year?
Yeah, Mike Tomlin is a dog. He is a machine. He just 16 NFL seasons, Ryan, as a head coach. 16 seasons where he's won at least eight games, a total win percentage of 0.636. 64% over 16 seasons is insane. I mean, that's a really good win percentage in and of itself, but you throw on the fact of consistency. Like, he's never bottomed out. He's never had one of those like 3-14 years, a 6-11.
I mean, had one quarterback for a lot of those years, but even that, it's like even like handling the transition fine. Mitchell Trubisky played football for them last year. A rookie, Kenny.
You got Duck Hodgins. You got wins out of Duck Hodgins.
Mason Rudolph, of course, who was just bravely being covered up by Myles Garrett, or attempting to cover up his head with his own helmet. That, if you remember that was just so kind to Myles Garrett.
Yeah, he
saw his helmet on the ground.
Mason Rudolph lost his helmet. He was returning it.
Trying to put it back on his head.
He's a good guy, Myles Garrett. Oh man, I am jacked for this particular team.
Ooh.
I'm high on the Steelers. Not to spoiler alert. I'm going to be in on the Steelers.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
how many years?
Why
running?
not? Why not? Right now, TJ Watt is healthy. When TJ Watt is healthy, the Pittsburgh Steelers win. You don't need advanced metrics. You just need Mike Tomlin and TJ Watt. Ryan, I'm looking at the advanced metrics. People are buying into our Patreon, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We got our weekly contest going. We got our season long NFL win totals contest, $1,000 up for grabs. Highly recommend getting in on that. We got our bonus SGP Stories podcast right around the corner. We're going to be giving away some special prizes as well as part of the contest. What else? We got access to Kramer's spreadsheets.
All of our spreadsheets.
All of our spreadsheets, the patron only Discord channel as well, the DGens channel in the Discord just for the patrons. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. Get involved, do your part in the war against corporate gambling. Of course, football was back. Ryan didn't get the under, but we did get one. We were touting DTR, who actually looked, I thought, pretty good, and we were also on the Browns money line. You always take money line dogs in preseason, unless it's the Baltimore Ravens. Then you just take Ravens money line every time. The Ravens winning preseason streak is insane.
That's what Harbaugh does. Look, we set a Browns home game, right?
Yeah.
So of course they're
home dog.
They got a Brown going into the Hall of Fame. Again, I'm not meant to be disrespectful, but I don't think there's a ton to do in Ohio. So they were rooting on their boys. And by the way, Zach Wilson might not have it. That was my takeaway. That and Robert Saleh.
He did hit that one deep ball.
Other takeaway quickly, not to take away from the Steelers, but man, Robert Saleh seems to be getting congratulated already.
And then of course everyone, the entire internet everyone just made the same joke of the darkness retreat when the lights went out. I mean, you have to make that joke, but because they immediately cut to Aaron Rodgers, who was sitting in the dark. Everyone had to go with the darkness retreat. Ryan, let's talk about the 2022 Pittsburgh Steelers. straight up record 9-8. ATS record 10-6-1. Very good team to bet on. I feel like I was on them a number of weeks. Win total was 7.5. Hit that over. You had them going 9-8. Ryan, you nailed that exactly. I was a little more high. I had 11-6, but in my
maybe
defense,
the easiest prognostication I had all year.
in my defense, I feel like if they get to Kenny Pickett a little earlier, maybe they get a couple more wins, maybe one more win.
He's a gunslinger.
He is, and
Pew pew pew.
Kenny Pickett was really a tale of 2 seasons. Essentially, started off slow, a bunch of turnovers, picks. Again, rookie coming in mid-season, but then he finished the season strong. I mean, every sort of metric you look at from week 11 on, Pickett finished as the league's 10th best QB in EPA. If you want to look at PFF, he earned the second highest PFF grade over the last 7 weeks of the 2022 NFL season. He really,
I think there's even a way to frame it where he was the top guy too.
Yeah,
depending on
what PFF metrics you look at. Very, very interesting. DVOA.
So we need a player grade guy at
okay.
SGPN. They don't actually have to do grades. We'll just refer to them.
Yeah, go to our SGPN grader.
The man in the box, maybe.
Man in the box could be up for that award. DVOA 14th, offensive DVOA 18th, defensive DVOA 12th. Estimated wins 8.8. Pythag wins 7.3. So did exceed their Pythag wins by a little bit there,
like they do every year. Can you hit the Homer Simpson, please? Sean.
Yeah.
What's the only thing we talked about last year is that TJ Watt missed a lot of games.
Yeah.
In the 10 games he played, they were 8-2.
8-2.
That's all we have to discuss.
It's really just that easy.
They weren't hurt otherwise. They were the best team injury wise. They lost the fewest games to injury adjusted. So, but the one injury they had was TJ Watt.
Yeah.
And
that is funny because like that's the only injury that really matters.
That's the bad one
on the team. They did. Why don't we bring up key additions, key losses here? We'll see what they did with the draft. We do have a special guest hopping on in just a couple minutes here. Broderick Jones, they drafted left tackle, who has been quote stuns training camp with first one-on-ones. So they seem to be high on him again. Left tackle, first year rookie. Yeah, we'll see. I really like Joey Porter Jr. They also got Darnell Washington, kind of like a goal line blocking tight end with some decent hands. I like what they did. They even brought in offensive line. They brought in Isaac Seumalo, who I was pretty high on. Didn't have a great Super Bowl. They also brought in Nate Herbig, good guy as far as offensive line depth coming over from the Eagles.
They definitely upgraded, but
yeah.
The other nugget that I pulled out, they only had 6 offensive linemen even take a snap last year. That's insane.
Well, yeah, and it shows.
So, but the guys they brought it, but obvious upgrades.
Yeah,
obvious upgrades to things they needed. The secondary, offensive line. Guys named Keanu. Two guys named Keanu.
Keanu Neal.
That's gonna.
Well, I think he might be a little banged up. I know Minka Fitzpatrick took a day off, personal reasons. Like any key losses that you're worried about, Ryan?
No,
nothing crazy. I mean, like Terrell. I mean, mostly they're
Edmonds. He's.
I thought he was like a good depth piece.
He was a perfect Steelers rotational
starter,
safety.
Right? Yeah. They brought in Allen Robinson, which if you talk to Scott Bowser, maybe you should be drafting him in your best ball league there. Yeah, I mean my takeaway again, Steelers didn't get great quarterback play, didn't matter.
Always competing, never rebuilding.
No, it's
Mike
really,
Tomlin. He wins it. So the nugget, I think you said 8 wins or more. I think the kinder way to say that to Mike Tomlin is never finish below 500.
Never had a losing record
there you go.
In the National Football League. Well, and I think even verbatim, the conversation last year was with Bowser because the win total was at 7.5. We go, he could have his first losing season of all time, go 8-9 and still hit this over. We got to smash this over. And we did. And we cashed. Ryan, speaking of cash, you can cash big with the Circa Million, Circa Survivor, $14 million up for grabs. Perfect excuse to go out to Las Vegas. Hey, maybe you grab a beer with old Scotty Bowser, sign up for your team, sign up in Vegas, play from anywhere. Very fun to get in the Circa Million, Circa Survivor. Just imagine you're going to be playing an office pick'em pool. What if you do it? What if you have that year where you're just red hot? Imagine you leaving millions of dollars on the table. It's
you win
crazy.
your pool. You win your pool. What's the big deal?
Brian, I remember I won your pick'em pool, the one you used to run.
Millions of dollars, right?
I won like $1,500. It was before we were in these awesome contests in Las Vegas. Oh man, wish I had that season back, and wish I was in the Circa Millions. Circa Million, Circa Survivor, and we're gonna be there August 24th through the 26th, hanging out for the ultimate sign-up weekend. Circasports.com for all the details. Joining us on the line from live, our friend from the desert, Mr. Scott Bowser. He's got the terrible towel.
There's no way he's going to be on camera.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
what's happening, Bowser.
Not much, guys. No, I'm pumped. I'm pumped for the season. I'm pumped that there was NFL football played tonight, even though it was just the Jets and the Browns. But I'll say this. I was so pumped that I was playing Medieval Total War as the Holy Roman Empire just because their colors are black and gold. That's how serious I am about this today.
Wow.
What is that? Some sort of cell phone game?
That's crazy.
It's a PC game that I have on my Mac.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
Well, sorry, I'm not.
You're porting games from PC to Mac, Bowser. I didn't know you had so much free time.
Legends only.
Hardcore DGen.
What do you got? A mini tower or a full tower?
Team, dude. It's just yeah. Just
nice. You running SSDs or?
But
Bowser, let's talk Steelers. Where are we at as a Steelers fan?
You'll appreciate this. First off, here are my new pad in my little office here.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Hanging on the my dad's old Pennsylvania Railroad to Union Pacific Railroad crossing, which he took as a child when he moved from Pennsylvania to California. So.
Oh, that looks badass. You got some.
You're a child of the railroad.
Yeah, it's like during the Civil War or whatever. I wasn't around yet, but and my dad made the crossing with the old timers in the family.
He's part of the Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Bowser, Kenny Pickett. Where are you at with Kenny Pickett, aka Kenny Pickettsburg? Obviously started off a little rough, but again, he was a rookie, finished really strong. I think I'm high on him again, because of the system, because of the George Pickens, Freiermuth, Deontay Johnson, the Najee Harris, the upgrade on the offensive line. Are you as high on Kenny Pickett?
Oh yeah. Especially with, like you said, adding the pieces on the offensive line and getting Darnell Washington. Cause like, dude, with him and Freiermuth, that's a gnarly 12 personnel combo, or like, they can really like muscle it down people's throats. And like I also like the idea of it's a soundbite.
I just love the muscle it down people's throat from Bowser. There's always intentional or unintentional. There's always some drop like
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
And you know what? Going back to it, just I think Bowser may have been hanging out with us when we recorded this episode, famously, and got this drop.
I want a dick rubbed on me. He might have been out there.
I feel like Bowser might have been in Vegas with us when that one happened. So sorry, Bowser. What were you saying about jamming it down people's throats?
No, also like Connor Hayward, moving him kind of into that fullback role where he was like an undersized tight end last year, and that kind of lost in that tight end room. I think there's a serious role for him there. So like, this team has the potential to be like play bully ball, and with Baltimore going to more like trying to air it out more, they have the opportunity to be the only team playing that kind of style in the division. And that always helps. Like look at San Francisco. They win a lot of games.
Yeah.
Forcing the ball, playing defense, and the Steelers can definitely play defense if these guys stay healthy. And so like, yeah, I like Kenny. And you look at last year, he was getting better and better down the stretch, especially late in the game when on like drives against like the Raiders and whatnot, where they had to win it, and he came in and he got the job done. And here's my hot take for this season, because I usually come in on these previews with you guys with a big hot take. I'm glad they didn't fire Matt Canada after
Oh,
that.
that is a hot take because most Steelers fans wanted
Yeah,
him
everybody
gone.
wants his head. But I feel changing up coordinators every year for young quarterbacks is one of the worst things you could do. At least give it like 2 years and then another guy. Because
100%. I think there's something
Well,
to that. I
he-
get why you'd be frustrated with Canada, but
Yeah,
keeping him
totally.
there.
his
Yeah,
play calling sucks. I get it, but like
He finished well though. I mean, like I know
he seemed to put together an offense late that fit Kenny Pickett's.
there was some stuff that maybe like Pickett did have a lot of third down success, like third and long success. We know that stuff tends to regress, but maybe he's that gunslinger.
Well, and
Maybe
also
he's
too,
the
like,
kind of guy who's going to pull out the flip phone and take a picture of his dick.
wait, who are you referring to?
Oh, Brett Favre, true gunslinger.
Okay. Yeah, true. It's
The
really,
original gunslinger.
really shot his.
Well, I assume, isn't that what it means to sling your gun? You
I would
flip out
assume
your
so.
flip phone
I
and take
would
a
assume
picture
so.
of your dick.
Now, talking about the defense,
Josh Allen also a gunslinger.
I kind of like, I kind of like what they're doing in their secondary. I'm high on Joey Porter Jr. I think Patrick
Penn State guy, be careful.
Yeah, Penn State guy.
Full disclaimer.
Patrick Peterson. Now he's getting up there a little bit in age. Maybe better for his own system. He's going to be playing a lot of man. Could be a little tough, but when you have Minka Fitzpatrick there as your free safety, that makes Patrick Peterson's job way easier. So, how do you feel about the back end of the defense? Because I think they should be all right.
I really like the moves. They get Peterson and then draft Porter, where you get this like mentor, like this Mr. Miyagi Danielson situation. Now they got going there, and then Fitzpatrick. He's so good roaming around and so dangerous. Like you can kind of shade him and maybe kind of protect Peterson a little bit as he's getting older. But he's definitely, I think he's still got a little meat on the bone there. The pickup I really like that no one's really talking about was Keanu Benton out of Wisconsin in the second round. Dude, that kid's a monster. And hey, face it, Cam Hayward's getting older and needed some beef in that interior line to take a little pressure off. Like re-signing Alex Highsmith was a really good move. But like having that legit bookend pass rush combo with Watt and him, like honestly, that's the best. This is the best one I think since like the Greg Lloyd, Kevin Green combo of the '90s. Like, I think these two guys are beasts. Like,
and you mentioned Keanu Benton, of course, 6'4", 309-pound nose tackle. And again,
one of the two Keanus that joined the team.
Yeah, they brought on multiple Keanus. I think they actually spell it differently. One has 2 E's in Keanu, one doesn't.
Yeah,
that's very bizarre. But again, the Steelers, much like the Eagles, you build in the trenches, and I think bringing in a younger guy so you can rotate the D line makes a ton of sense. Obviously, TJ Watt is going to bring you a shit ton of pressure, disruptive nature if he's healthy. Assuming he stays healthy.
Guy, stay healthy, bro.
Well, they really did do kind of some Eagles moves this offseason, bringing in guys from the Eagles, like free agency to beef up the interior offensive line. And then the Steelers and Eagles are drafting more Georgia players than anybody right now.
No, I know. Howie Roseman, he got locked away in an office. He put him in an equipment shed essentially when Chip Kelly took over at GM. Since he's been back these last few years, especially, he's come to terms with, hey, don't be a fucking idiot. Just draft guys who went to Georgia or Alabama. It's gonna work out. Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts, and now you've just basically drafted one of the top college football defenses of all time. You draft key players from that. It makes it harder to fuck up.
Fun fact. Worst team in the NFL would be favored by 28 points over Georgia. Sorry, I just had to do that.
All right,
I just had to remind everyone how smart I was. Sorry.
That is always funny. How much it would always be the Jaguars too. How many points would the Jaguars be getting against Alabama? And they're like, dude, no, they would destroy Alabama.
They would absolutely crush. It's guys that are paying for their mortgages, dude. They would crush them.
It would be fun to watch. And we pointed it out last year. The Steelers had a very generous schedule as far as travel. Like they did not leave the Eastern time zone for their schedule. That was huge. This year, I think they do leave the Eastern time zone, but they have the 5th easiest schedule if you're going by win total. So someone's greasing the right wheels in the league office for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, and I mean, Steelers don't really play many road games a lot of times because there's so many fans nationally
That's true.
coming out to support them. Like they are going to play here at Allegiant Stadium this year in Vegas, and like that's going to be
nice.
that's going to be a home game, dude. Like
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
And-
no, but like I really like the moves they made this offseason, just in free agency and in at the draft. Like I think they knocked it out of the park. And here's a guy like little best ball, like free guy you get at the end, deep sleeper, second year guy. I'm expecting big things from this year is Calvin Austin. He got hurt last year and sat out the year. So I think it was kind of like a red shirt. So like he's kind of coming as a rookie, but dude, at the combine, he basically was in the 99th percentile athletically in everything except height, where he's only like 5'7", 5'8". So if this guy was like 5'11", 5'10", even, he would have been a first round pick, hands down.
Calvin Austin, quote, gaining steam according to the Steelers training camp notebook. So, Bowser, if we're doing a Kenny Pickett stack, and we got maybe Kenny, Pickens, George Pickens, who I love, I think he's gonna have a good year.
How about this? You wait until Freiermuth, okay? And you don't do Najee. You wait until Freiermuth, right? You take him at tight end, and then you get the second of like Deontay and Pickens, okay?
Yep.
Then you get Pickett, Jalen Warren, and the deep flyer on Calvin Austin, and that's a fun Steelers stack right there.
I'm in.
Yeah, no, that is.
I've executed that.
Are you still as high on Allen Robinson as like a round 20 best ball pick?
Yeah, no, I mean, I like Austin more in that situation just because of
the upside.
Yeah, like when you bring that 4.2 style speed, and like, dude, he has like a crazy like 10-foot broad jump, which a lot of times translates to that that burst. And then he's got crazy like cuts. Like the guy can just move. Like they can figure out if Canada can just get him. Like Canada loves throwing screens more than anyone. Getting this guy the ball to screens, and he likes doing jet sweeps that suck. This guy can actually pull that stuff off. Like that's the thing is like, a lot of those horrible plays he calls. This guy has the speed to make it work when you throw it in the context of the rest of the offense being a muscle offense kind of thing.
I can't tell you how excited I am to bet on Darnell Washington first touchdown. Because
that's gonna be a fun.
He's a guy they're going to use near the goal line because he's a big body dude and can actually catch the ball.
He's huge,
and he's going to be like 30 or 40 to 1 for the first touchdown.
Donald Parham sized eggplant.
D Bettis in the chat pointing out how many great quarterbacks have come from the Pittsburgh area. Respect the state of PA. Blanda, Unitas, Montana, Marino, Jim Kelly, Namath.
Not impressed.
Yeah. Matt, he put Matt Ryan in here, unfortunately. Rich Gannon, Kerry Collins, Ryan.
Kerry Collins had he had a couple issues.
Got to the Super Bowl. Kerry Collins got you to the Super Bowl.
I believe actually. You know,
he liked to enjoy a cocktail or two.
Oh yeah. The photo of him when he got arrested for DUI, I'm still laughing after that photo. It was pretty great. He was pretty wrecked.
Well, I'm going to share a note.
What you got any more nuggets
from
for us,
last year? Actually,
okay.
One of my notes from the 2022 preview was that they're spending the most money on defense, and the least money on offense, which kind of tempered our expectation. Even though I
had them 11-6, but yeah,
we still went crazy. But now they're more balanced. They have some, like they've spent a little bit more on the offense. You've seen the offensive line reinforcement. So I think it's fair to say like we should be optimistic. The last 5 games that Kenny Pickett started, he won 5-0.
Yes, sir.
If he starts the season 5-0, we're talking about him a little differently than 5-0 to finish the season out.
Yeah, and again, I think he's like a game manager on steroids because you look at his deep ball. It's one of the best in the league. Led the league in catchable rate on deep balls, 75.6%. So you pair that with George Pickens, Deontay Johnson, and a good running game.
Yeah, and he has surprising mobility too, dude. He had
Yeah,
a few rushing touchdowns. He had like 2 rushing touchdowns in his first game and 2 interceptions. But I mean, that
was a weird start for him. But
we don't respect him, Sean. He authored the fake slide.
Oh yeah, Colby's still pissed at his like fake juke slide. But I do think that's why he's interesting in fantasy. I mean, if you're doing best ball stacks, he could be him as your second quarterback is just a layup.
Yeah,
And
you
even
could do with a lot of like the second tier guys on the Steelers team there. You can stack them like and get them all late, and have that as like a second tier, like a second string sack kind of thing.
I would also add that you can the way that especially for tournament style they have Seattle week 17, and so you have this opportunity in those middle rounds there 6-7 to like go Lockett Pickens. So even if you're not doing a stack, or maybe you plan on doing it later, you game stack it right there. Not to get too into fantasy, but you game stack it right there with the intent to go tight end, quarterback, whichever stack you get, because both are cheap.
And you can go Charbonnet Warren kind of late too for the running back.
Well, and now now Charbonnet's back on the field. I think Bowser and I are a little higher on Jalen Warren than Sean over here.
I'm a Najee guy. Hater. I'm a Najee guy.
Which, by the way, Najee, there was a highlight of Najee in a passing drill catching a like fly route today.
Dude, he had like a mangled foot the entire season and still didn't miss a game. I don't think he missed a game.
He was playing with a plate in his foot last year.
Yeah, come on.
Like, the guy's a man. No, I like him a lot, but I think this offense will be able to use both him and Warren on the field at the same time.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to. I mean, honestly, when you look at the one thing that stands out is their depth chart at receiver. Because even if you're excited about Calvin Austin, we're not that far away from Gunnar Olszewski playing. I mean,
I lost some money on Gunnar first touchdown.
I don't think it's a good thing if he's on the field a ton.
No, but they.
I think it's a hard to pronounce name for the first touchdown. I like taking it. I gotta.
It drives the odds up a little bit. Hard to tell your buddies if you can't pronounce it.
Always a good sign. And actually, as far as like they had really good injury luck. So maybe that doesn't.
Amazing.
Maybe it is. But again, they lost TJ Watt, which you could say is bad injury luck. Coming the other
without him, that's
coming the other way though. They are do some like positive regression for fumble luck and field goal luck,
and just defense in general. Like the EPA isn't super aligned with like play by play stuff. So they're one of the teams that performed poorly on third downs, better on first and second. So you tend to see regression there. So maybe the injury regression and just the play regression lines up again. It's the TJ Watt factor. And if TJ Watt's healthy, Mike Tomlin stays on the sideline. I kind of like Kenny Pickett as being a guy, like you said, maybe more than a game manager. It might be disrespectful because
no, that's what I'm saying. He's a game manager on steroids.
You look at some of these young quarterbacks.
Yeah,
not a lot of them have Deontay Johnson, someone who gets open on every play, on every play.
Mm-hmm.
George Pickens, who I mean, next year we might be talking about a second round pick there, and a Freiermuth, and then maybe Bowser's wet dream Calvin Austin. I think there's weapons to be had, and then we haven't even mentioned Najee Harris, who, by the way, he's an all-time boomer revenge spot, both in real life and fantasy. He's being disrespected because he's just a running back, Sean. All these nerds that are fucking salary cap Excel experts. Man, he's just a running back. Well, I don't know. Najee is one of those guys. I put him with Derrick Henry. He walked in the room with you. You're not saying that shit to his face.
No. And he actually,
sir, you're not valuable. Let me explain value over replacement. So supply
run through a motherfucker face like Marshawn Lynch said.
That's actually a great bet.
And
Alabama running, there's some like stat like every Alabama running back that was drafted in the third round or earlier since Nick Saban took over is at least either 1,000-yard season or a Pro Bowl season. So.
I mean,
yeah, and again last year, not only was dealing with the foot issue, but he thought like, oh man, they're gonna give me this huge workload. I should put on some weight to help me like carry the load. But then meanwhile, that probably backfired with the foot injury. Now he's coming in camp. He actually lost some weight, which should help him. His one weakness was like efficiency. Wasn't super efficient guy. So if that can improve a little bit, I think he could get much better numbers on a similar workload.
I mean, one area where science has dished a massive L to the old souls like Colby is less high intensity practice and less high intensity reps good to allow your body to stay healthy. and so like that's probably one of the things. Yeah. They progress, I guess.
There you go. Right.
I think Broderick Jones really is going to just like mentally help his game. You know,
Yeah.
having that just the fact that they went out of their way to trade up and use capital to make sure they're protecting him like that. That's what smart teams do when they have a young quarterback. Look, I mean, hey, Kramer's Giants, like that's you know, and also just
Nice job, Bowser.
people are disrespecting him going into the year, and I'm about to shoehorn Sean's Jalen Hurts and the Eagles in here right now.
No.
Yes.
People disrespecting him going into this year. People were saying the same shit about Jalen Hurts a couple years ago going into that year.
Yep.
People have been saying the same shit about Dan Jones going into the season. You know, people like,
And they were right about Dan
Mark
Jones.
Allen a couple years ago was getting a lot of some of these. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to get up to that level, but like, you know, like a lot of these guys now, like it's question mark until they, you know, I mean, which it should be, but like, yeah, I think there's something there. I think there's definitely something there.
Good. I mean, to make, you know, let's make a comparison to someone Broderick Jones probably won't be, but Andrew Thomas, also out of Georgia, also a high pick. He sucked his first year. He's now one of the best tackles in the league. That's my only concern here is that I think a lot of people are looking at the moves of the offensive line and saying, yep, fixed, but a little bit of injury regression. And maybe the rookie isn't all that good out there on the edge. And that can trust me, I know that can completely ruin a season. I mean,
I do think though it helps that now they have more than 6 guys that can play, that they're like at least there now. That's huge. And on top of that, like it's better depth. So I mean, and that line was improving as the season went on. It wasn't just Kenny Pickett, and what I mean, the line was definitely a big part of that, getting the team getting on that run at the end of last year.
All right, let's get to it. Let's talk schedule. Well, I guess first the odds over under, like we said, 8.5. Make playoffs plus 146. Miss playoffs minus 155. Division plus 470. Conference 25-1. Wow. Super Bowl 50-1. I'll be honest.
That division price has come down.
Yeah, the conference price being 25-1 feels a little short just because of how competitive the AFC is and their division in general.
I think in general, conference odds and Super Bowl odds suck compared to they back in my day. I just think in general that the longest long shot is just so much shorter than they used to be.
Well, after Kurt Warner destroyed the Super Bowl futures market by winning
they got scared
as a backup quarterback with the Rams, I think they.
And then Baltimore won it with Trent Dilfer the next year.
Yeah, I think the year the Rams won it, they were giving out like 250-1 preseason because Bolger went down in the preseason, so that really scares them from hanging like what the number actually should be. That being said, I'm high on this Steelers team. Excited to see what number I get to them.
So I was before the show, Sean. I know you were. I don't know if you were paying attention to me, but I was getting giddy in the office. You
really do sound like my wife. I was talking to you earlier. I don't know if you were listening.
Well, there's times where
football was on.
There's times where you're laser focused.
Yes.
On your activity. It's not meant to be a negative statement. Anyway, I was getting into I was dumping all of my futures into a spreadsheet.
I was listening to your futures spreadsheet
and just reflecting on some CLV in my pocket. We don't like to do this because we're not better than other people just because we bet earlier than you. But I do have a Steelers at 6-1.
Really? That's a great price.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I was back in May, late
CLV superstar.
I really should post some of the timestamps. Like some of these bets are after dark, and it's pretty hilarious to see what I bet after dark. All right. We're going to go through the schedule. Bowser knows the drill. First 4 49ers, which I will say one of the bets I already have in my pocket is Steelers
week 1 money line, baby.
+3, +110.
Non-conference road spot.
Hold on, Sean.
Where Brock Purdy, the armless guy, Trey Lance, or Sam Darnold are 3.5 point road favorites in Pittsburgh. I don't want to give away any of my week 1 picks, Ryan, but
I will say, 3. I don't think 3.5's available anymore. But man, I
maybe
really,
down to 3.
Really excited. Yeah, really excited.
Fellow sharps like us are getting in there.
Yeah. Let's go. Browns Monday Night Football again. Some primetime spots here too, which is fun. Browns on Monday Night Football, always a great game. at Raiders on Sunday Night Football. Again, the Raiders are beatable. Every one of their opponents can beat them. And then we have the second of a back-to-back at Texans. Again, obviously a winnable spot here with the Texans and Mike Tomlin versus a rookie. Mike Tomlin versus
and not to start the next quadrant, but that is a look ahead spot to having the Ravens at home. So that is a tough situational spot, but this is why we have Mike Tomlin, Ryan, because Mike Tomlin isn't going to let you look past for the Ravens. He's going to make sure you get up for that Texans game. And I think he can outcoach the Texans staff. I love that Steelers defense against a rookie quarterback. I love the Steelers defense in what would be a home game against the Raiders. I think that Browns game is going to be a hell of a game. I think they beat the 49ers. So for me, it's 3-1 or 4-0. I'm going to go 4-0. Let's go.
I will say, so the Texans are basically running back the Niners scheme. So that can maybe be like that's like almost like a potential parlay. Could the Texans maybe trip them up because of that look ahead spot, because they saw how they played the 49ers early in the year? I wonder if that's maybe the one where they trip up.
Guys in the chat,
3-1.
Trevor saying the schedule is a joke. 46 Mantra 2 saying, man, the schedule is soft. That's again, 5th easiest schedule according to win totals.
Let's not come after the schedule.
Kramer, what do you
schedules?
What do you go?
I'm going to go 3-1.
Okay.
I think they potential trip up against the Texans.
Bowser, how say you?
I'm going 4-0.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Like
Yes.
Remember last year, by the way, I was very bold about for sure they were beating Cincinnati week 1 on that big one. And that
there was that bet was
there.
That bet was never in doubt.
Nope. Not at all. But no, the Niners, I love that. Obviously, you guys said everything that needed to be said about that. The Browns, or like that's a Monday Night Football. That's a rivalry game, could be tricky, but I think at home they're up for that so hard. And then Raiders, like if that was just a regular old Sunday afternoon game, that could get weird. But for Sunday Night Football, 100% up for that.
Big time rivalry, old school.
Yeah, old school 70s rivalry. And then I mean, and they played last year too, which was an exciting game. But and then you got the Texans week 4 there, where like you're saying, there's a look at spot factor, but I don't know. I think the Texans are pretty shitty this year. So I'm gonna go 4-0. Yeah,
nice. The Raiders win last year, 13-10. Sean, who can remember that barn burner? All right, next 5. As we mentioned, look ahead spot to the Ravens at home, week 5, early bye week. I don't know if that's good or bad. At Rams, I always say that it's not good to have an early bye.
No,
week.
It's never good.
At
I mean, if you have a rookie quarterback, maybe, but I don't think it's great for this Steelers team.
If you're trying to get from your starter,
but the Steelers aren't super old.
Haters, there it is. Early bye.
All right, at Rams coming off the bye, Jags at home, Titans on Thursday Night Football.
This one's interesting, right? Because Ravens at home. Obviously a get up spot for them there. They will show up for the Ravens at home, but it's a tough game. Then you have a bye. Then you go at Rams, which is a non-conference road spot. But again, that game will be mostly Steelers fans.
Worth noting, the Ravens game is the second of a back-to-back for them. They have Cleveland.
Yeah,
the week
back-to-back
before.
division games.
It's also their 3rd division road game by week 5. They will have all 3 of their division road games, Baltimore Ravens, taken care of by week 5. So I actually, that maybe a little fatigue there for that spot.
And then Jaguars at home. That's a good spot for them. And then Titans,
3 straight home games.
Titans at home Thursday night.
Oof. How do they lose any of these games?
I mean, they're favored in all 4 games, right?
Yeah.
At the look ahead line, I think you could trip up with the Rams or Jags. I mean, that's the other thing is like what's so nice about the schedule is
who's
normally like, let's say if they didn't have that bye at Rams the week after Ravens would be a brutal letdown spot for them regardless of outcome. But the fact that they have a bye week in between makes it way harder to let down. I don't want to say 4-0. I want to give them one loss, but I'm going to go 3-1, but again, they could be 4-0. D Bettis is with me. He has them 7-1. Serial is a bit of a hater and easy.
No.
They're 1-3.
Really?
Yeah.
Where are the? I mean, we do like the Titans. I want to hear what Bowser has to say for this.
But
Okay, I'll
this
say this.
it's at home on the Thursday night.
Historically, like the Jaguars and Titans give the Steelers shit for some reason. Like it's just weird. Like, but those are both home games. And so I like
And
that.
it's a home Thursday.
It's a home Thursday too. Yeah. So man, look, I could see them being 6-2 at this point in the season, but I'm gonna go 3-1. So I instead of saying 2-1, I'm gonna go 3-1 there. I could see them getting tripped up by one of those two, or even that trip to the Rams. That's gonna be the second. What is it? That'll be the second West Coast trip in the first 6 weeks. So that's a.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah, I mean, they like you mentioned earlier, they didn't really do much traveling last year. It would be nothing more than them just not paying attention if they lost to the Rams. That's a home game. There's gonna be so many
Aaron
Steelers
Donald having a monster game there and putting. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Like that would.
There's gonna be so many Steeler fans there.
No, I agree. I mean, that's why they're favored in all these games.
4-0.
All right, so and Bowser, you officially went 3-1, right?
I officially went 3-1. I almost went 2-2 just because
we all have this.
I'm like, this looks too good to be true, dude.
We all have the Steelers 7-1 at the halfway mark.
Jags are coming off the mini bye. They're coming off Thursday night.
No, that's why I got 3-1. I think you could lose to the Jags or Titans. But again,
I'm sticking to it. All right, next 4.
Yep.
Week 10 Packers at home, at Browns. This is a tough stretch. At Browns, at Bengals, Cardinals at home. Give me 2-2 here.
2-2. Yeah, I mean the back-to-back division road games. No one likes that. Cardinals at home. That's going to be a get right spot after the Bengals.
Maybe Kyler's back by then. A little toughness back to the team.
I mean, it's going to be at least a little chilly.
0% chance
that time of year. I like Mike Tomlin against Jonathan Gannon. Give me that matchup for Mike Tomlin 7 days a week. The Packers. I'm trying to think what the Yeah, I mean the Packers again. The Steelers' defense is just really, really intriguing, and I don't know the Packers' ability to stop the run. Maybe that could be a big Najee game.
I think the teams that will give the Steelers trouble will be the teams that can pass efficiently and quickly. And
so like the Bengals.
I don't think it's going to be teams that rely on running the ball and play action.
Yeah, and then again in Cleveland, division game, that's going to be tough. I mean,
I'm penciling them in for a full split in the division. I think.
Okay,
so like AFC North, I don't think we need to fuck around there. You just pencil every team in for a split.
Yeah, I'll go 2-2. Bowser, how see you?
Yeah, I'll go 2-2 as well. That back-to-back road spots are tough, even though I mean, Mike Tomlin practically is the governor of Ohio at this point.
Oh wow, Jesus!
What was that? There was always those stats of like Ben Roethlisberger has won more games than any Browns quarterback in Cleveland Stadium. Like it was always just humiliating the way they just went in and just bent him over.
Yeah, I mean both teams. Like Bengals are a lot better now, obviously, but yeah, that Green Bay game. That's a fun end of 3 home games in a row.
Yeah,
but that could be a letdown.
And many,
spot, honestly.
Well, and you're
coming off a long week. Yeah,
you get the little extra rest off the Titans game.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
yeah. No, I'll go 2-2 here. Even though, dude, hey, they did go into Cincinnati last year and beat them. So I mean, a lot of people didn't have that. I was with Mitch fucking Trubisky. So
that's true. Like they kind of have the Bengals number.
I'm just gonna go bland and just give them the home games in the division and make them lose the road games. All right, where am I at? Let me get in the right mindset.
We're all 9-3.
Oh wow,
in the home stretch.
All right, Patriot. Another Thursday night game. Interesting. They've 2 of them. Then you have at Colts, Bengals at home, at Seahawks, Ravens on the road, back to back there to end that's a tough 2-game stretch.
Well, 3-game even the Bengals at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bengals obviously always really good late December, January.
I did say I was going to split that. This is a Saturday game, week 16, the Bengals game. FYI.
Yeah.
So a little primetime action there. Yeah, I don't know, Sean. I mean, I think once again, which one of these teams is going to sling the rock around and give them problems? Surprisingly, maybe Seattle isn't the best matchup for them.
I think, I mean, again, considering the nugget we had on Geno Smith leading the league in turnover worthy plays, and you give that to a Pittsburgh Steelers defense with TJ Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, Joey Porter Jr., Patrick Peterson.
Why are we so high on the Steelers? D-Bet is throwing out 12-5. He's very, I mean, normally a big negative Nancy. He's very happy tonight.
Well, maybe I'm just always 1 year ahead on the Steelers because I had them 11-6 last year, only got to 9-8.
We do this every year.
Oh,
by the way,
but every year they're an above 500 team.
Yeah.
In 2021, guess what? They overperformed by 2.5 wins.
Yeah.
It's just the Tomlin.
So
effect.
what is their win total is 8.5. So to overperform 11 wins.
Last year they overperformed by 1.5, right?
No, last year was 7.5. They had 9. Oh, yeah, right. 1.5. Yep.
Yeah. So we'll split the difference and say 2.
Okay.
So
So
we
then
wanna
they
get
win
them
10.5 games. You got to round it up to 11.
11. And so I was coming into this. So only 2 wins here. Oh, come on. There's more than 2 wins. I guess they could, if they get swept by the Bengals, maybe they go 2-3.
But I don't think
No
they
way.
are. To Bowser's
doesn't
point,
happen.
like they know how to play this Bengals team.
Yeah, they
3-2?
do. And
3-2.
And where did the Bengals have the edge on them? Like with receivers, what they do go out and get 2 corners to help match up against them. I mean, I'm not saying it's 100% the answer, but that with their pass rush, dude, you gotta like them. You gotta like it. It's 50-50 a coin flip toss in both those games. You know, like,
Love it.
Wait, hold on though. If this is true, if
yeah, I got them 12-5. I got them 3-2 there for sure. And
okay,
like
so
they could even be 4-1 there, honestly, depending on how that Seattle matchup works out. But if like this could be a situation where they're resting guys in the final week.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh man.
But I'm gonna go 3-2.
I'm
So
going
12-5.
3-2. Yeah, got him. I got him 12-5. Kramer, what's your final answer on the last quadrant?
3-2, but that.
So we're all going 12-5 with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pretty much lockstep, and we pretty much are every year, and we're pretty much right every year. So
Isn't Kenny Pickett the MVP if this happens? Or is there enough with Tomlin and the
No,
defense?
because I think the Tomlin, the defense will get a bunch of credit, and there's probably going to be a team that's 13-4 that puts up the stats.
Do you know what you predicted them to do last year?
Yeah, I said 11-6.
Dude, okay. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo has gone to a Super Bowl and 2 championship games. Them going 12-5 with Kenny Pickett and that defense is not the craziest thing to happen in this league last year.
No, not at all.
12:57 a.m. May 22nd. I purchased the Kenny Pickett MVP at 100-1.
Oh yeah, dude. That's my guy.
I don't hate that. I'll add the Kenny Pickett MVP.
What's
on there.
the current price? Let's pull it up. I don't think it's 100. Again, not trying to brag about CLV that I have, which I do have, by the way. 100-1, probably a good price at this point. Let's see. Kenny Pickett. Oh shit, 50-1.
Okay.
Hello.
Now I can't find the price right now. On DK, but the Steelers to start 5-0, I think is an interesting. Because pull up the schedule one more time.
So it'd be Niners, Browns, Monday Night Football, both home games, at Raiders, at Texans, and then Ravens at home.
The only game they're not favored is 49ers, where I think they got. Oh, and I guess they're getting points in Las Vegas. Wow. All right.
Maybe that's a typo. Maybe not.
They don't have the
look ahead week 1, week 3 money line parlay. That'd be fun. Yeah, really weird.
I mean,
so
all right. What were you looking for? First, start 5-0.
I don't see that price.
Oh, did they take that stuff down?
No, it's just not there for certain teams.
Cowards.
So obviously we're all on over 8.5. I'm going to add on make playoffs at +146.
Well, all right. Let's talk. Make playoffs versus over 8.5. Why?
I like
price
both.
difference.
Well, over 8.5, they're showing crazy juice on it.
Yeah, I saw it like -150, and so
Then make playoffs. I'd much rather take it that plus
now
price.
what I like more than either of those really
Hmm.
is over an alt total over 9.5.
What's
Yeah.
that at?
Because you could go 10-7, miss the playoffs, and still hit that, and you might get a similar juice if you get
Over
like,
9.5, over 9.5 is plus 125. Over
Yeah,
10 and over 10.5 is plus 225.
Oh, I'm doing a ladder there over
Okay.
9.5 because since we got them at 12 and 5, I'm going to do the ladder
Yeah.
up to over 11.5, and then
Th-
do it 9.5, 10.5, 11.5. And I think
Okay.
you get good value on that.
No, I like it. I'm just copy and pasting a ton of things right now.
They're offering
I'm actually writing
Cleveland.
that down myself right now.
They're
Let's do
offering
it.
Cleveland and Cincy, but not Pittsburgh to go 5-0.
Yeah, because they know what's
Why?
happening.
Why are they doing
Truth is
that?
out there.
I'm looking somewhere
I,
else.
I
I'm
got some
looking somewhere
juicy
else.
stuff that I pulled today. If
Well,
you
let's
guys
hear
want-
it.
Yeah, let's
I
go.
like. Hey, I saw TJ Watt comeback player of the year listed at 50-1.
Did he die on the field last year?
No, but he missed
Okay.
a lot of time.
It's true.
Okay. He missed a lot of time. And if he comes back and has another defensive player of the year caliber performance, but some other guy has a bigger year to win it, they might give it to him as like a miscongeniality type thing.
Okay. TJ Watt, comeback player of the year. I can't co-sign
51.
that.
That's might as well sprinkle that a little
A
fun.
little pizza bet.
New
A
favorite
real-
bit on the show is me sharing some of the comeback player of the year. You know, that's something I came in hot on.
Yeah, Sam Darnold has
very heavily. Not only do I have Sam Darnold at 66-1, but I have John Mechie at 28-1, Odell Beckham at 40-1, and Matt Stafford at 100.
So you have everyone except the guy who's going to win, DeMar Hamlin.
I don't have DeMar Hamlin.
Okay.
Although he is practicing in pads, so
Yes,
it's looking more.
because he's gonna play, and he died, and now he's alive. That is the ultimate comeback.
Well, he hasn't played
You
yet.
guys are maniacs.
He
I love it.
hasn't. He hasn't.
All right,
played
but
yet.
I also
Here's-
I love this one. Joey Porter Jr. I got him today at 33-1 defensive rookie of the year.
Okay, co-signing.
And here's the big thing on that one is like you got to love DBs on that one because they get thrown at, and technically you can be bad on the metrics and all that, but if you get it like with Trayvon Diggs, you get enough picks, you get the award, and he's going to get challenged, especially in those two Bengals games. If they end up going 2-0 against the Bengals and he gets 3 picks in those, that's like that media push that he might need. With a decent rest of the season, that's enough to win that award, I think.
100% agree. 100% agree.
Yeah, I mean, to be a DB, you got to do something special.
No, and to Bowser's point, I think he's a very talented quarterback. Obviously, his dad played in the NFL. I think that gives you a nice little boost, little name recognition.
Media knows who you are.
And maybe Joey Porter Sr. talks up. Hey, runs into Peter King at the old coffee shop. Hey, Pete, my son's playing pretty good. They like to reward their own. And I would say I agree with Bowser's point. Like they're gonna try and throw not at Minkah Fitzpatrick. They're gonna try and instead of picking on Patrick Peterson, you try and pick on the rookie. So I think he's gonna have some opportunities. That's a problem. Like sometimes like a Patrick Surtain Jr., like you're almost too good that you're not gonna get the interceptions, and it's tough to get the recognition.
No, I think he's right there in that sweet spot where they're gonna he's gonna get challenged, and he gets the primetime matchups in division against guys like Chase and Higgins.
He certainly. I mean, I think it's sure. I don't love it.
You don't have to, Ryan.
TJ Watt. I mean, the only award I would play is probably Tomlin Coach of the Year, because if what we just highlighted happens,
has he won Coach of the Year already? Bowser?
I honestly, I want to say he did, but I can't. It seems like one of those things where they never give it to him because he's so good, consistent every year. It's hard for him to do anything that really stands out.
He's never won a Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I felt he should have won it that Duck Hodges year.
All right, that price is, I want to say it's like 33-1 or something.
All right, a couple long shot stuff I like. George Pickens, most receiving yards, 80-1. The logic here is you have to get that 15 yards per reception, and that's what he was at last year. I mean, you see those plays he makes in training camp, it's electric. Maybe Deontay Johnson falls off a little bit. Maybe he gets a little bit more of the work. Maybe they pass a little bit more than people think, get some nice yards after the catch. Him getting to the most receiving yards. Yeah, it's a long shot, but at 80-1, I'm in on that. That feels fun.
Are you in on the coach of the year?
How much is the coach of the year?
Pulling it up right now.
Okay.
I thought it was 33-1. Nope, 25-1.
25-1. Yeah, I'm gonna pass. I see it.
Give me Mike Tomlin coach of the year.
But the problem for me is that they won 9 games last year. Like
You're saying 3 isn't enough.
Yeah, well, it's just
if they get the 1 seed.
Well, I would rather bet the 1 seed, honestly.
Okay, then yeah, scratch that. You're right.
Inevitably, there's a team that's going to win 5 or 6 more games than they did the year before.
Get me out of that position, Sean.
All right, delisted that.
All right,
I couldn't find. Can you find number 1 seed in the AFC?
No,
because I think that's interesting for them.
Some of that stuff kind of popped up and then went away. Any interest in least points allowed? They're one of the favorites, or they're at least near. They're near the top. They're 12-1. No, right?
No, I mean, I on that stuff I want to go a little bit more long.
Okay, but you know what though? They do get to play the AFC South and the NFC West. And so
just workshopping stuff here.
Yeah, no,
right there. I think that's in play. So at 12-1, I'm okay with that.
Ryan, right now the only bet on your sheet is Pittsburgh over 8.5 wins.
No, division, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I like the division. I like the make playoffs. I think I like playing I think the futures are a better way to play the ceiling versus the alt win total. It does seem like this division is going to have multiple playoff teams. So the make playoff is a nice mini hedge, and the price is right compared to the win total. I also, where I was about to get to, we don't have start 5-0, but we do have last remaining undefeated team.
Okay, now we're talking.
We're what, a dozen teams in?
Yeah,
I think we've given out.
But bring up the schedule one more time, Josh.
I've given out 2, I think, on this front. So, so a little shocked to see the Steelers here. Last remaining undefeated team, Pittsburgh Steelers, 35-1.
Oh my God, that's my favorite bet.
Oh yeah, I'm all over that.
I'm gonna bet as we're doing the show, real
because
quick, guys.
Look, if you look at the schedule, the first time that they're a dog on these look ahead lines of more than 3.5 points is at Cincinnati, which is, I mean, what do we got it here as week 12? They're a 4.5 point dog. Other than that, they're either favored or a dog of 3 or less.
I'm in.
Well,
That's
I
crazy.
kind of like the idea of the look ahead lines against some of those later matchups, like New England and the Colts, because I think the wheels could be really falling off in those situations right around then. Boston Capper's hating on New England's coaching staff now.
Oh yeah, he's out on.
Yeah.
And just flushing out the rest of my bets. I'm with you on the George Pickens position in terms of yards or receiving yards, firing long shots into those markets. When we did that episode a couple months ago, I'm a little surprised the price hasn't changed on him. Maybe it's going to rely on an injury, but I think there's a version of this team where if they do end up playing with a little bit more pace, which is probably less likely, that's what we're going to need.
So
to what you're saying there, Ryan, though, but like with the better protection for Pickett and he step forward for him and them like taking that chemistry to the next level, that's definitely in the range of outcomes.
And then I would also throw out the Najee to lead rushing. The Pickens 80-1, that's more of like a proper dart throw.
What's the Najee Harris rush yards?
It's 30-1.
Okay. They just put in the chat. Shout out to the chat. YouTube.com/sportsgambling.podcast. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. They just threw out Pittsburgh number 1 seed 25-1.
I like that better than the conference championship at the same price.
It's the same price as Tomlin.
Tomlin coach of the year. Yeah,
that's interesting. So they're correlated, Sean. We're on to something here. They know.
I'm gonna add Pitt number 1 seed at 25-1. Bowser, I'm assuming you're in.
No,
yeah. That's
Bowser's
fun.
in.
That's
Bowser
fun.
likes gambling.
That's possible. I've never been one to shy away from placing a wager.
All right.
Well, I also saw the chat was talking TJ Watt in terms
Lead
of
the
his
league in
performance,
sacks.
pulling up the sack market.
Yeah, easy saying most sacks TJ Watt 10-1.
Yeah, I like that. I
mean,
called that 2 years ago at plus 650. I didn't like it last year so much, but I did
Yeah,
call it when it happened at plus 650.
I think I have enough on the Steelers right now.
Do you think so?
God help me if they suck.
It's always possible. I mean, last year
Hey,
they
it's
were
the
10,
NFL.
last year they were 10-1. This year they opened at 6-1. They're down to
The
470.
National Football League. All right, enough messing around. Time for everyone's favorite part of the show, where we name the Pittsburgh Steelers MLD, aka the most likely DGen, aka the person who we think will get busted for gambling this season. Bowser, since you are the guest, I will let you go first. Who do you got for the Pittsburgh Steelers MLD?
I put more work into this than any other pick
Yes,
or anything I did
it's
for this
important.
episode. Yeah, and okay, my honorable mention was Mason Rudolph because I was thinking
Perfect.
there's some like backup quarterback spite there where he was never in consideration even like last year and stuff, and I think that's always been kind of lingering over his head. But no, I got a great one here. I'm going with Duke. Hopefully he makes the team, but Duke Dawson, because that just sounds like a guy who whips his dick out at the poker table, slaps it down, and throws some bets all over the place there at the sports book, wherever it needs to be. He's out of Florida, so we know what kind of high character asshole comes out of the University of Florida. Look at you, Timo. But yeah, 27 years old. He's clinging on, maybe not being in the league too long. I think that's perfect, dude. So Duke Dawson, just because that sounds like a DGen name.
Double D's.
Yeah, he also went to Dixie County High School. Again, that sounds.
Let's not go any further. That's far enough. Well, I stop right now. Oh wow.
D-Bet is saying his MLD is Mitch Trubisky. Oh, Trubumsky. Okay, he threw a little bum aspect in there.
No, he's a bullock. He's too dumb to bet on you.
Well,
he can't figure out how to open up the app.
Dumb is actually a good is a proper. It helps you in this category because you got to be stupid to get caught gambling.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of factors. You can factor in the get caught. You can factor in the DGen-ness of them. You can factor in their. What kind of, we know certain types of folks are more inclined to gamble. Some would say the Irish are prone to drink and gambling. That's why my MLD for the Pittsburgh Steelers, this is actually on the coaching staff, quarterback coach Mike Sullivan. Have you ever met a Mike Sullivan who didn't immediately start talking to you about who do you like this week? Oh, Sully's on this. I mean, Ryan, we know a Sully guy is sending us 19 parlays every other day.
I want to know. I think Mike might be his dad's name too. Possibly.
Yeah, again, the Irish. There's a million Mike Sullivans in the United States of America. They all love gambling on sports. Mike Sullivan also coach of the Giants when they won the Super Bowl against the Patriots. He was a receivers coach then for the helmet catch. This guy has a horseshoe that's bigger, up his ass that's bigger than Eli Manning. So if he saw that happen, that has to inspire you to dream. Give me quarterback coach Mike Sullivan for my MLD.
He actually also came back and was their coordinator for a couple of years later on. Yeah, definitely. If he was a DGen, that wouldn't surprise me. All right,
Kramer.
All right.
Close it out.
There's so many options here. Like my first thought was like, oh shit. Well, Patrick Peterson like put himself up for auction in college. That's a real DGen move, and he's donating money back to the university in the form of $1 million, 500 up front and 500 later. It's a real DGen move. But no. That was just in case. Then I found Monty Pottebaum, who he's a fullback who retired a couple days ago. Unfortunately, after I did all the research and found that on his Twitter feed, he just gives out losing picks. Like you very quickly can get. He first of all, sounds
like a tout.
He's giving out picks. Like he gave out the Panthers in Super Bowl 50 back in 2016, along with Clemson in the national championship. We know how that went. He also is constantly retweeting those like basically modern chain letters where it's like retweet or you'll have something horrible happen to you.
Bad luck for 40 years.
Low IQ. And he played fullback. And then the last thing was he had like he's basically, it looks like he's in a like real life Caddyshack situation now that he's retired. But because he's retired, he can't get suspended.
Oh yes.
So then I stumbled into this.
Okay.
This is great. This is actually we might have uncovered something. We might be breaking news. So earlier this offseason in May, Kenny Pickett's car was stolen.
Yo, yeah.
With his playbook in it.
Yes.
Which okay, whatever. They find a guy. It turns out it's a 60. It turns out it's a guy, and who goes by the alien or a man going by the name Christopher Carter. So, with an extensive background check on the old internet, I come across a Twitter profile, Christopher Carter, alum, Pitt Law, Cheyenne University, writer, Pitt, host, Locked On Steelers, NFL podcast, co-host, 11 Scott. What the fuck? Where did this playbook go? I believe this Twitter feed is a fake Twitter feed.
Oh,
I believe that this playbook wasn't stolen. It was sold to the highest bidder because Kenny Pickett might have some problems. Hometown kid.
That was like that story in the USFL where the one quarterback was selling the playbook to the opposing team.
You blow off the local bookie because you're about to get drafted in the NFL draft, and then your worst nightmare happens.
Well,
you're in the same city.
The next thing we know,
let's not
next thing we know,
Canada's playbook is some
well, I mean, we'll really know he's a degenerate if his father is shot on the side of the road changing his tire. Then we'll really know. A la Michael Jordan's dad.
It does seem coincidental that there's happens to be a guy who went to Pitt and covers the Steelers who happens to share the name of the guy who was arrested.
It was like when we did the Seahawks one, Geno Smith. Why did he get punched in the jaw? Because you owed someone some money. Bad things like that happen.
You know what
to you,
they
that's
say?
not an accident.
When you're in the brush, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Plenty of fire. All right, good times. Recapping the bets. We got so many.
Oh my god!
I feel bad for Josh making this graphic. It's insane.
Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. We
all got him. We all got him going 12-5. Last undefeated, number 1 seed. Some long shot stuff, division stuff. Little bit. Just go to youtube.com/sportsgambling podcast. We're high on the Steelers. So many bets to list. Our MLDs.
Look at that ladder graphic.
Yeah, even a ladder graphic. Kramer's on Kenny Pickett. I got Coach Mike Sullivan. Bowser on Duke Dawson. Great collection. I think this is probably our best trio of names that sound like guys who are involved in gambling.
Going forward for the ladder, it has to be one ladder and just the numbers along the ladder. Yes.
It's going to be a beautiful ladder graphic.
Ladder of the week.
46 Mantra pointing out we are all way too high in here.
Woo, ain't smoking my weed.
That's not true. 46 Mantra. That is Bowser and Kramer probably.
Two. Wait, what do you mean two? Who's you're setting limits now?
No.
Now who's sounding like a wife?
I was quoting 46 Mantra, Ryan.
Yeah, all right, 46 Mantra. Why are you
what
fucking
are you,
so naggy?
What are you,
Jesus
narc?
Christ.
What are you, narc, man?
What do you got?
We're just trying to have a good time. This has been a great time. Always enjoy having Bowser on the podcast. Bowser, where can people check you out? What's your address on Threads? Are you threading?
I'm not threading. You can find me on Twitter. I still call it that.
Sorry. Plug your handle on X.
My X handle. Yeah, you guys can find me over on the Malcolm X site at Scott _ Bowser here. Also, I bought a digital soccer club that's going to be testing coming up, so I'm going to be fucking around doing some live streams on my YouTube channel.
#Digits only.
Yeah.
Oh, that is an awesome. That's an awesome graphic of us holding I
bought a
trophy.
button machine. Started making club merch for my soccer team here. As you can see, So having fun with this. The Wolf's my GM. We're gonna take down this league. Yeah, it's
All right, lot going on. Follow Bowser. It's always a good, entertaining time. And check out the Zed Run episode we did a little while back, a few months back in the Blue Wire studio in Vegas. A lot of fun there. It's just a great digital horse racing. So much fun. Kramer, we're going to be back talking Cleveland Browns. Of course, sign up for the Patreon, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Going a little earlier tomorrow, so be alert, subscribe, notifications on.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green, and he's Ryan.
How the fuck did Bowser not plug our FFPC appearance live in Vegas? Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Kramer, let it ride.